Hello, SimCity Buildit mayors. Welcome back to Build It with Smith. I'm your host, Smith. Thank you for tuning in. And in this video, I will be showing you a layout that beginners can use that's very efficient, and it provides your Sims with service coverage for the fire, police, and the health. And in this particular series, you can see that we just reached level 16, and that is when you unlock all the health services, the clinic, the small clinic, and the deluxe hospital. Now this layout will accommodate up to 44 buildings. You can see I have 39 here, and you can also swap out buildings and add in different parks and other specialization buildings that will help to boost your population. Now right now, currently, I'm running 3 coal power plants, and I've got 4 basic water towers, and I've got 2 basic sewage outflow pipes, and I've got the garbage incinerator, and I have 2 of each service, the fire, police, and the health. And so this particular layout will use 2 basic fire stations, 2 basic police stations, and 2 basic clinics. Alright, we are ready to get started. This layout uses 2 10 by 12 boxes that can accommodate, like I said, up to 44 buildings. So what you want to do to start out is kind of follow along here. You can see that I kind of kick that road to the left a little bit, and you want to kick it to the left or right 1 space. I recommend that you just follow along, do it the exact same way that I'm doing it, as far as using which side of the map and everything. If you can use what you're seeing here in the video, it'd be easiest to follow along. So we're going to leave space here for a row of 2 sets of buildings, and there's going to be a total of 10 buildings that are going to fit in to that first little area that I laid out. And so now we have to get some coverage. And let me explain something to you guys. If you notice, and I think I said this in videos before, the fire station, or at least the basic fire station, when you look at the coverage for it, it's 10 by 12. And like I said, this layout is going to provide coverage for 2 10 by 12 boxes. Now that's different when you look at the area coverage for the police station. It's 12 by 12. It's not 10 by 12. And it's the same for the clinic as well. So we're going to start off, we're going to place our fire station right here in the middle, where you can see that it will provide coverage for that 10 by 12 area that we're looking for. Okay? All right, so dropping that right there. And we already saw the coverage. So next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to swing this road around and encapsulate our fire station. All right, now looking at it now, we've got coverage within the roads, which is what we want. And now we can go ahead and bring in the other 2 services. As you can see, it doesn't matter which side, which one of them go on. They both have a 12 by 12 coverage, like we discussed earlier. So we'll just bring those in, place them on either side of the fire station, just like you see here. All right, and so now, looking at this, we're going to go ahead and make some road connections and kind of give, kind of further visualize what's going to happen here. So we're going to make a whole box now around it. This is our 10 by 12 space that I was telling you about. And of course, we know that all that is covered. But one thing that I like to do, and you might want to do this too, is to place 4 buildings at each corner, just to make sure that you have the proper coverage that you were hoping for. So I'm doing this here, and let's do a check. Okay, so as you can see, we've got proper fire coverage, and go on to the police, coverage there. Even though they're kind of off to the side a little bit, they provide coverage. All right. So now we're going to extend our road here and connect that road to the other side of our city. So we're about to make our second leg, I guess you could say, our second box here. Now we're going to leave some open space here that's not going to have coverage, and we can place buildings within that area that do not need coverage. And so that's going to be our city hall, our town hall, and of course my mansion. None of those require police, fire, or health services. So we can go ahead and delete these roads. Looks like I got a little too wide with my road layout. Okay, so now we're kind of faced with the dilemma of, we had these buildings here off to the side, and now we've got to kind of move some out, get them out of the way, and start filling out these boxes. And you should get a total of 22 in this first box. Also account for the sides there, the side that were left by the services. Remember, we have 2 more slots in there, and so that's going to bring our total, like I said, to 22 in there. And like I mentioned earlier, you're free to swap out buildings if you want for parts and other things that will help boost your population. It's whatever you guys want to do with this particular layout. All right, well, I think it looks pretty good. So we can move on now. And now we delete some roads. We make some room for this other side of the city on this layout. Now there's going to be absolutely no difference to the other side here. We just, the orientation is going to be different. We're going to flip it. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. Let me draw the first little area. And so, like I said, this is going to exactly mirror what we had done on the other side, except for it's flipped now. Instead of the buildings flowing in an east-west type of orientation, it is now going to be in a north-south. And I guess it depends on which way you're looking at it, but I always think that the entrance to the city here, the entrance is the north side. So that's why we have that here. Now, needing to make some more room, and that's something that is quite necessary when you're doing this with limited space. All right, so now let's move in some more buildings, and this is going to get us another 10. It looks like I'm going to have to adjust that road a little bit. Again, misfired. All right, so here is our first little area there. We've got a full 10 buildings in there. And so now this next little row is going to house our next fire station. And all right, so as you can see, it's going to be the same coverage. So we're going to set everything up the same way. And it's really no need to get any more difficult than that. Of course, you're going to want to add different things to your city. You may play around with it a little bit. But like I said, this is a very basic but efficient layout. So as we're finishing out here, let's be talking about some things that you can do in the future as you beautify this layout. Of course, like I said, you can replace some of these buildings with parks and other specialization buildings, maybe from the transportation specialization or from the education specialization, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, under landscape, you have some trees and some lakes and other types of things that you can use to fill your city. And it's all about boosting population in the game of SimCity, at least it is for me. All right, so take a look now as we're kind of remodeling, getting rid of some things here, at the basic layout that we have. Like I said, two 10 by 12 boxes, and they are orientated opposite of each other. One over here, the buildings are running in rows from east to west, and then our one over here is running in rows from north to south. And you know, you really could have kept it. You don't have to orientate it that way. That's just what I wanted to do to add a little flavor to my layout here. So you're really free on what you want to do with the rest of the buildings here. I can probably find a better house for these commercial buildings later, but just for the sake of what we're doing right now, which is getting things out of the way, the next thing that we're going to need to do here is actually, we do need to move these pollution producing buildings out way away from our residential buildings, because their pollution data layers cannot touch anything in our residential zone. Or people want to move out, and that won't be good, because our city thrives on having Sims in these buildings, occupying them, and of course paying their taxes. So, all right, our factories also need to go. So let's draw a little road here, and we're just going to place our factories. Oh, whoa. Okay, let's just go ahead and include it in within one road here. So we'll have these factories lined up here, and as you can see, these are mass production factories, so they don't have quite as much pollution as the basic factories or the small factories. So that's going to play a factor in where you set them. And of course, I know some of you may not have if you're watching this video, it's not very likely that you've upgraded or that you've expanded the same areas that I have. But I figure that everyone should have this first little initial space here in order to do this layout. And from that point, I think this thing will work well for you. So taking a look at it, now you do have that center part right there. That'd be a good place to put a lake, I think. Right there in the center, right next to my house, of course, and your house in your city, your mansion, that is. And so just going through checking, and it looks like everything is covered, and it's all good in the hood, my neighborhood. And go back if you are just discovering my channel now, and if you're a beginner, check out my beginner series, which I covered levels 16 on down and showed you everything that you need to know as you're advancing in the early stages of the game. So go check that out, and let's take another look at our city without all the UI here. That's user interface. I hate it when people use abbreviations and then they don't tell you what they're abbreviating. Not everyone knows every abbreviation under the sun. So give some definition to your abbreviation. That's just a little nugget I thought I'd drop toward the end of the video. Not directed to anyone, just a life lesson. But hey, I think that this has turned out pretty well, and I think that you should try it as well and add some more flavor to this. And I'll see you guys next time. This has been Smith reporting live from the SimCity Buildit mobile game. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Give me a sub if you enjoyed this video, and drop a comment so I'll know who you are. And I'll see you guys next time.